The girls are officially fighting, y'all. Let's get into it.
How we get up, just call back, right back. We can spend, then get it right back, man. She just gotta worry all of that, so that's why I bought.
Hey y'all, welcome back. JamiThatsMe here. It is time for us to get into Real Housewives of Atlanta. So let us go ahead and talk about it because this was the episode where Porsha and Shamea get into it, right? If there was any chance that the friendship could be repaired on the front end, it's absolutely done now. And if how this episode ended was not enough, the stuff Porsha has tweeted out, it's a wrap. Like it's a wrap on, like it's just a wrap. But also, I will say, you never know in this housewives land. I think there was a time at one point when Porsha and Nene were beefing. Porsha was trying to ice Nene out, according to Kandi, in via text messages and stuff. And then when Nene stepped on the scene later that season, it was her crying, saying, "Oh, it's been so hard without you," yada yada yada. And Kandi was like, "The fuck, like fake as hell." I agree, was just talking shit about that lady. Hilarious. So all in all, with these housewives shows, like at some point, if you continue to film, sometimes how you felt may not be how you feel later. I don't know. I mean, we did get to a point where mothers were brought up, things were said. Maybe they would move forward in a friendship, just not as close as they once were. We shall see. It's very unfortunate to watch it all break down at the end of the day. But let's just start at this part of the episode where the ladies are sitting inside. I think this was after they did like all the activities outside. And Porsha checks in with Kelly at the table to see how she's doing because the night before they all had this quote unquote bonding moment with each other. And in this bonding moment, Kelly, she needed a friend. And the ladies was able to relate and she was going to take it. Miss Ma'am got a lot going on in her life, right? Drew says that last night was liberating and spiritual. And she felt like we all came together. Like it was just really good. Like we all finally was able to come together. And I'm like, Drew, my love, it wasn't all of you all. It was a few. It was a few. It wasn't all of you all. But the way that you're saying, like, we all were able to come together, it kind of makes me feel like clique, number one, the whole clique and Kelly was able to come together. But more than anything, it makes me feel like it was an emphasis on the fact that Shamea wasn't there. And because I remember Porsha talking to Kelly saying she wanted to be closer to her, but there are people in the way, or she was kind of insinuating that Shamea was a problem as to why they weren't getting closer. And that's not it. That has nothing to do with Shamea. And that's what I feel Drew was trying to do in that moment as well by saying since Shamea wasn't there, we were able to bond with Kelly and, become cooler with Kelly. And it's like, girl, y'all had y'all own issue. And you really should have an issue with Kelly because you tried to give Kelly a compliment and she turned around and said, you look like an alien. Now, you're a gorgeous alien in my personal period. Okay. But either way, that was not nice. That wasn't nice. But y'all were able to figure it out. Porsha says that it's understood that whatever was going on between she and Kelly, they really were just trying to hurt each other. Okay. She felt like Kelly said something to her to hurt her. She was trying to return the favor. And they was just going to keep going at it back and forth, back and forth. And Porsha see that Kelly was with it. No matter how tall, how short, Kelly was with it. Okay, hilarious. Hilarious. But either way, I'm thinking about when Kelly said, and Porsha has fucked every African in Atlanta, which is crazy to say. And Porsha put up and get that lady face and said, you a little bit hilarious. So she says that she's glad at the end of the day that the ladies are able to work things out and things took a turn for the better between them. And of course, Kelly agrees, right? Porsha does go on to say, when you have somebody who has good intentions, who you will allow access to, then, allow access to it or to them. And I'm kind of like, we really could have cut the conversation off when Kelly said what she said, when she agreed with you. We didn't really need to go on any further. And the fact that Porsha went on further, again, dig to Shamea. Feel how you feel. A dig to Shamea. She then follows it up with not only, when you have somebody that's coming in that means you good or has good intentions, a lot of men, she follows it up with, I want you to call me. I want you to be around me, to ask me stuff. That's you developing a friendship with Kelly, which is fine to do, right? It's fine to do. But also, I feel like it was the extraness was added on there to spite Shamea. Yeah, I'm going to give your good bestie the access to me that you no longer have. Yikes. That's what I think really had Shamea feeling away. And at the end of the episode, she needed to get it out because she does go to the confessional, right? And she's just like, I just think it's crazy that Porsha is willing to forgive these people who she just had an issue with, right? Just accusing you of this, that, and the other. Not so much as these people, but forgiving Kelly, but you won't even forgive me. And I've been your friend for way longer. I've had your back. I've shown up for you. But I feel like Shamea is feeling dismissed by Porsha, which honestly, truly, I think was Porsha's whole goal this season was to dismiss you. And I also think that Porsha may have been trying to avoid the argument that you guys got into by the end of the episode by having a little conversation with you. Possibly. Shamea does go. She calls her mom. She speaks with her. She lets her know, like, girl, I'm over here feeling attacked. Okay. I'm feeling attacked by the ladies. I feel like somebody coming at me every which way. And I try to be the bigger person, but I can't always be the bigger person. She's like, even when I have my issues and I bring it to them, they be like, oh, okay, yeah, but it's always a but to excuse what she dealt with. Nobody checked Angela and told her she was foul. She was wrong as fuck. And y'all sat in that room and blatantly watched this lady sit up here and lie and get caught in the lie. Shamea, the fact that you're talking to your mom and you're saying you always got to be the bigger person, this and that, I feel like that's why you check them hoes in the moment. And the reason we're here is because you've allowed things to go a little too far, a little too damn long. The same way you nipped things in the bud when y'all were in Texas, when they wanted to make you the fall person for whatever K. Michelle learned about the plot, whatever was going on, you should have checked them at every turn. You got to set up the play to teach people how to treat you as I step on this show. Don't play with me like that. You've been missing nice girl for a little too long. But either way, K. Michelle and Pinky are chatting, and Pinky says that she feels the energy and the vibe between them, and she notices that there's something off. And K. Michelle says, yeah, like, I mean, I'm keeping the same energy, but she not. She says that, Shamea, or at least she said, because she's watched a lot of change ups when it comes to, I guess, Shamea. So she's confused as to why she's so standoffish with her. And I love what Pinky's response ended up being. But before we get there, K. Michelle says that Shamea says that she doesn't have anybody, right? When they're in the car, she's like, I don't have nobody but Kelly. And K. Michelle says, she don't care if she mad or not. Like, you're going to be my friend. I understand Shamea being hurt by K because it seems like everybody knew about the issue K. Michelle had with Shamea, but damn Shamea. So yeah, we can work through our issues and we could be fine, but I do still feel a way that is how you moved with that situation. But then you say, I'm your friend too, But I will say this too. I do understand that, but it's a few things I want to say. One, you've made up with K. Michelle. So if y'all made up, I think whatever happened, you should kind of let it go. After y'all have talked it out, y'all moved on, let's work on letting that go. I'm not going to be standoffish. We're going to start anew at this point. But also, it does take me back to Porsha and Shamea last season, I have to say. When Shamea did have conversations with other cast members about Porsha, right? Instead of going to Porsha to have the conversation. And I do feel like that wasn't a good thing to do, Shamea, because you didn't even really give them a whole lot, it seems, but you gave them enough for them to create whatever narrative and to go to Porsha first with the issues. Let's keep going. So Pinky says that she realizes that Shamea is fighting everybody. And I'm so glad Pinky clocked that. A person that's actually in the situation and watching how this is unfolding, the girl is fighting damn everybody. So Pinky is like, well, listen, I think that Shamea is just mentally checked out. And to her right now, everybody seems like a damn enemy. For real, for real. And makes sense because again, Kay, you went and you shared info with whoever you shared it to. Now damn near everybody know what's going on but me. And even if they did not know what was going on, you shared it with Pinky. Pinky brought it to the front. And when she said that she felt like some energy was off, Cynthia's like, yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah, I know. This person, yeah, something going on. Very weird. Y'all some weird shit. The goal definitely is to get Shamea the fuck up off the show. Period. That is the goal. But if I was Shamea, I'm not going to fuck at this place. You don't sign my checks. I don't give a damn who show you think you own. You don't sign these checks here. And if you stay long enough, the tide always turns. It always turns. That's just what it is. Okay? You just got to get that tougher skin, girl. Get that tougher skin, start checking them hoes right out the gate, teach them how to treat you. And I'm telling you, you beat up on BITs long enough, they're going to be trying to be your friend. It happens every time. I'm glad that Pinky highlighted that she feels like Shamea is fighting everyone, right? And it makes me think back to the times that Pinky may have had Shamea's back, right? More so in Texas. And to know that Shamea sat there and she was like, all I have is Kelly, all I have is Kelly. Pinky learning this, she not feeling away. But for some reason, K. Michelle is. Now, in addition to that, when I think about this trip, going back to that Texas trip, right? And how Pinky was, pretty much defending or having Shamea and Kelly's back or whatever the case was, the cast tried to make Pinky seem like she was so aggressive when she was so far from it, right? But that's how they tried to make her seem like she was doing too much behind Shamea. And now as I look back on that moment, what it boils down to me is they were trying to set a tone for Pinky to feel a way about supporting Shamea so that she doesn't do that in the future. I feel like that's what they were trying to do by overreacting to how Pinky was showing up when Pinky wasn't even doing too much at all. And a lot of y'all that said she was aggressive said absolutely nothing about Porsha putting her hands in Kelly's face and about as aggressive as she was. It's crazy. The very moments we've had this season that were aggressive, y'all don't want to call it aggressive. Okay? But that's fine. But either way, I think they were trying to set that tone for Pinky to fall back when it comes to defending Shamea so much. Because it was a method to their madness this whole season. They wanted Pinky to put the gun down. K. Michelle says that she feels like Shamea is battling bigger issues than her. And I said, oh, okay. If you feel like Shamea is battling bigger issues than you, then why are you sitting up here internalizing her saying all she has is Kelly? When you too have seen how she's been handled this season and you've barely said anything to defend her, for real, for real. So then K. Michelle says that she has watched this girl turn into a monster or turn into this monster. K. Michelle says that she's watched this girl turn into this monster. Girl, what? Shamea not going half as hard as she possibly can for you to sit up here and equate her to a damn monster. I feel like y'all haven't seen the monster in Shamea yet. Because she's still holding back in my personal. Yeah, go ahead and unfollow me. Like, go ahead and do that. And let me return the favor. No. Because don't sit up here and try and act like you understand now after Pinky done sat up here and told you. After Pinky sat up here and told you the girl going through a lot, she battling all these people. And you've even said it in the confessional yourself. Right? But we know confessionals are filmed later. However, you see it too. And then you want to say that she's turned into a monster? Girl, what the fuck? What is up with y'all this season and how y'all label people? It's very confusing. Huh? And you turn around and call her a monster? I said, yeah, girl, go ahead and pack me up. I'll see y'all in America. I'll see y'all in America, child.
Let's get the fuck out this country, motherfucker. I can't see me.
Pinky's continuing to have financial issues. Angela comes in. She sees Pinky emotional. She gets in the confessional and says Pinky was crying over money. We're crying over money. Were you not just crying over money and all the houses that you lost? So much so that you went and bought you a tear down just so you could get one more win? But we crying about money. Girl, you would think she talking about practice. We talking about practice. Girl, where? Let's get to dinner. So Drew talks about doing a song with Ray J. I'm so glad it has not come out. If it has, I have not heard it. I don't want to hear nothing with Ray J. Pinky sings Delusional, which had me hollering because I love when she does it. And I just love Pinky. I don't care about her talking about at this moment, and it can change, okay? But in this moment, I do not care about Pinky talking about her finances, bankruptcy, all that. I don't give a damn because y'all have let people come on this show and talk about the same over and over. The same stuff over and over, a business that ain't even doing nothing. And y'all bothered about somebody that got some real financial issue. Cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out. Okay. Drew brings up Dennis, pouring his heart out to her about Porsha. Porsha sitting up here looking at her like, now, why would you bring this up? Why would you bring this up, Drew? I'm not trying to talk about this man right now. Okay, so Angela asked, well, how does he feel about Mike, and Sway? And she's like, of course, he's felt the way about both of them, really, but she thinks he feels stronger about Sway. Somebody said, is it because she's a woman? And she said, probably so. And then she brings up Pilar. She says she's not going to bring anybody. I guess he feels a way because Sway is a woman, right? And I guess he's concerned about what Pilar may see with the same sex relationship. And so Porsha says, I'm not going to bring anyone around my child if they aren't going to be good to me. No, I'm not going to play with Pilar like that. As we've watched you play with Pilar like that. Woo. Shamea brings up Dennis telling Gerald about Porsha not feeling comfortable with Pilar being around them, right? So Porsha says, if someone has ill will for me or we not close, I'm not going to let my daughter go to their house. Now, I'm thinking this is new information. And I feel like this new information may be after Shamea did that invitation for her husband, or she threw the party for her husband. She invited some people. Porsha was not one of those people she invited. What we learned when Cynthia confronted Shamea and asked her about that, she says, well, Dennis and Gerald talk all the time and they take the girls on play dates. So it seems like Shamea is respecting that Porsha may not want her daughter around her, but then to move the meter from not around her to being not around them, like her family, she's like, damn, like me and my husband, like you don't want her around us? When Dennis and Gerald meet up all the time and let the girls play. Okay, I see. After Porsha lets her know, like, hey, girl, no, that's not going down like that. Shamea says you are her mom. So you have to make the best decision for her, which is fine. I was just hoping that we wouldn't let our issues get in the way of our daughters, similar to how we didn't let our parents' issues get in the situation between us. Right? Now, I will say this though. I will say this. I understand Shamea being hurt by that because it's like, damn, how do you view me? So you would think you think that low of me that I would harm your daughter? Like, I hurt you that bad that you would think that about me? So I completely understand Shamea on that. But I also understand Porsha as well because if I ain't fucking with you, my child not going around. I'm sorry. Now I might be cool. Okay, yeah, daddy can take him over there. Cool. I'm not going over there. I'm not fucking with it. Cause as long as daddy is over there with the child, like that's fine. I don't mind them having a friendship, hanging out, whatever the case is. That's what they're gonna do, they kids. Um, and I know my husband's gonna be there, right? And in Portia's case, her dad's gonna be there. So I definitely get that. But like as a child, my mama didn't play this shit. She won't fuck with you. We ain't going over there. I don't know how big, how small the situation was. IDK. But the answer was no. And you could be friend or family. Okay? I'm just she was not fucking with it. So I definitely, I understand that. And I understand how it can make Shamea feel. So Porsha says she will only do that with her sister. Like, only person I can go back to back like that with and then turn around and let my child go be with them would be my sister. And Shamea said, but you did refer to me as a sister, did you not? And Porsha says, well, whenever I did say that, I felt like we were, but then I learned some other things that were mentioned, that some things that were mentioned last year or whatever the case was. Last year, I learned some things and that changed for me. And I'm like, well, Porsha, when did it change? Because you just said that like a few weeks ago. You just called her a sister a few weeks ago. Keep in mind, they only been filming for about a month. Maybe a month and a week, maybe a month and a little change or something like that. But you just said that not too long ago. So when did it change? Okay. So anywho, Shamea goes on. She spills about, she goes on a spill about her feelings and stuff and all of that in that moment. And she says that she told a lot of lies when it came to Porsha. She said, Porsha, you told a lot of lies, right? Even down to you asking Andy about whether you wanted me to be in this friend group. Okay. Now, Shamea, how did we get here? Because just like I feel like Porsha could have left that portion out of the conversation with her bringing up, oh, I want you to call me. I want you to hang out with me. I want you to do these things. Da, 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 da. We didn't need all of that extraness. When somebody comes to you with good intentions, allow it. Like we didn't need all of that. So I do feel like this moment of now we're getting off of the topic of the daughter. Okay. I kind of understand because I think it was no, we weren't talking about the daughter. We were talking about Dennis. And then Shamea slid that in to bring up what Dennis told her and her husband, which bothered her. And I don't really feel like we should have talked about this in that moment. I don't think this conversation really should have happened in that moment. But I also question and wonder if either of them denied one-on-one sit downs throughout the season. And if they were denied throughout the season, did Shamea feel like this was the only time she could really talk about it? Because Porsha not gonna answer the call, she's not gonna text her, she's not gonna do no one-on-ones with her. So maybe this is the only time that I can say it. Even though for me, I'm like, I would have tried to at least put us aside, like, hey, hang back. Yeah, because I want to address some things with you, right? I don't know, just wondering. So I didn't feel like, okay, boom, we got the Pilar situation out the way. Then now we're jumping to the lies that Porsha said. So it gives to me that these were a lot of things that Shamea was holding on to this season that she wanted to get out. And I'm thinking she couldn't get it out because for some reason they didn't have a one-on-one. Based on the that was said on social media last year or whatever, I think it could have been after the reunion. You would think they were going to have a sit down about some of this shit, but they never did. So I don't know if the producers went and said, we don't have to address this today. I don't know how that went, but yeah. Round 2, Atlanta. The ladies are coming back. That's right. JamiThatsMe, Bondi Blue, and Niecy Dixon will be in Atlanta for the second time to host the Ooh Ladies First podcast live show. Okay, so make sure that you guys are in the building September 26th. You heard me, September 26th. You can find all the details at the Eventbrite link that will be listed down below in the comments as well as the description. So go ahead, snag up your tickets, honey, before it ain't no more. Can't wait to see you guys in September. Shamea calls out Porsha for saying that she has the Hawks, the singing career, you dance, you got a lot of good things going for you. This here is my thing when it comes to the show. This is my show. I believe exactly what Shamea is saying. I believe Porsha did say that. I mean, even listening to Porsha in interviews and how she referenced my show, She very well said this to her. This is my thing. Right? I know there's been like some spiel about, well, you got your own thing going. Why would you impede on what your friend got going on? Well, why does your friend feel like you can't be a part of that? I see it no different than the acting world. Like, why can't she be a part of the acting world? Right? Why can't she be in the same film that you're in? If you feel like you're the star, then you'll still be in that position. My friend joining me in this show, and I'm supposed to be the star of the movie or the show, it's not gonna make me feel no way because they sing and they got these gigs and they got that gig and they doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm on a reality show and you've brought her, and that's been a conversation too, where people are like, oh, Porsha don't mind her being on the show. She's not jealous. It's not the thing. And it's like, I hear y'all, but at the same time, keep in mind when Shamea was brought onto the show, I'm not gonna say understudy, but it was very well given background singer, friend of, not full time being actually put in the forefront on the same level as you in a sense. But if you feel like you're the star, then be the star. It should make you feel no way. I definitely believe exactly what Shamea says, right? So Shamea says that Porsha said it would mess up their friendship if she comes on the show. I believe that too. And I believe Porsha said that, and I could see that potentially being a reason why she didn't want her on there. Like, dang, that would make more sense if that was said. Like, girl, this housewife stuff can be very crazy. And let me tell you how they be filming. Okay. And I really like the friendship we got. I do not want them to fuck up our friendship. So if anything, I'm going to try to, since y'all be trying to make alliances and pacts and stuff, I'm going to make a pact to be locked in with my friend. If you got any issues, if there's anything like, well, we good. Don't let nobody bait you into that, And some friends you shouldn't even have to give like no heads up or anything like that about, or heads up with. But at the same time, like, I just don't understand what the big issue is with your best friend being on the same show as you. Shit, clearly Gizelle and Robyn didn't give a damn. So much so they even went on to do a damn podcast with each other. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's room for everybody on this platform. Like, it ain't got to be that deep. So Porsha says, Shamea, why are you lying? And I'm like, I don't think she's lying. I think you did say that. So then Shamea and Porsha are chatting. Shamea brings up, or at least so Shamea and Porsha are pretty much talking over each other at this point. And Shamea brings up the parents and how they agreed to not let their parents' friendship interfere with their friendship. I believe that. And it seems like with the pictures that the ladies have, and it seems like with the pictures that these ladies have taken with each other, including their parents, it seems like the parents may have moved past the issue a bit, or at least they were cordial for the sake of their daughters, potentially. So Porsha, in my personal, let her mama talk shit about Shamea first last season. I know people were like, Shamea brought up the mamas first. Nah, Porsha let her mama talk shit about Shamea first. Be wary or be careful of the dog that carry the bone. When this girl ain't never do shit to you and you trying to make her pay for the crimes of her damn mama, like, whack, don't care nothing about it. So Shamea brings up to Cynthia what Porsha told her that her mama said about Shamea and not trusting Shamea. Then Porsha goes onto Instagram and brings up Shamea's mom doing something egregious to her mom. So I do feel like Shamea has every right to respond to Porsha's ass. Like, girl, what my mama did? What? Okay, well, let's talk about it, because it's obvious these two have not been given a sit down, one-on-one sit down for them to discuss whatever issues they got. I don't know if somebody denied it. I don't know what happened. But now it's all coming out at this table, because I really wish they would have had like a one-on-one and just talk through whatever. But honestly, the one-on-one they had last season was not good because Porsha was extremely dismissive to Shamea's ass. And she really didn't want to talk about none of their issues. And honestly, it was in that moment I probably would have been like, all right, bet, cool. It's cool. We ain't got to talk. I'll talk. We'll talk when you're ready. Because the fuck? Porsha is now sitting here when Shamea brings up the moms and she's like, Shamea, I don't care. I don't care what our parents did. Oh, now you don't care what our parents did, but you cared about what our parents did when you made that post over there on Instagram. But now you don't care about it when I bring it up. Oh, okay. No, okay. Okay, girl. Then says that she didn't know about all of that or something like that. Shamea, I didn't know about all of that. I guess whatever the parents had did. And so Shamea says, but you knew enough to tell the people that my mom bought your mama's daycare. But you just said you didn't know about all of that. Just lying with a straight face. which makes me think about Porsha in these meetings or these confessionals and stuff, and she has a straight face when shit is going on. When Angela on the phone with somebody getting played the hell out because she lying, you having a straight face and not give a reaction or to give yourself away or anything. Now you want to sit up here and say that you didn't know about all of that, but you knew enough about that to put a post on social media saying this lady brought your mama daycare. So Porsha says it was public information. And I disagree because I didn't really know the information was out there at all. I was like, what? She bought the daycare, whatever. Okay. So I didn't know that. But all right, girl. But let's just say that, it was public information. At the end of the day, you still spoke on her mama though. And not in the best light. Your mom did something egregious to my mom. And then you also let your mama sit up there and disrespect Shamea. Yikes. But now y'all trying to use this narrative of Shamea brought up moms first when no. Porsha mama spoke on Shamea first. But even with Shamea bringing up Porsha's mom, she was just saying that Porsha told me that her mama said this and that and don't trust me. Yikes. But let's keep going. All right. Shamea says, yeah, when it comes down to the whole egregious and the post, you told the people my mama, bought your mom's daycare. But what you didn't tell them was that your mama tried to sleep with my dad. Baby, the way the people mouth drop, I believe it. I believe it. Porsha says, Shamea and her mama, you and your mom are low down dirty snakes. And she said, no, you and your mama are low down dirty snakes. Just I know that's mother, right? I know that's right. So Shamea says that she didn't want to do that. I ain't want to do that. I ain't want to embarrass you. I ain't want to do that. And Porsha says, who you gonna embarrass? Me? Oh, no, baby. You can't embarrass me because whatever my mama did, that's on her and it ain't true. You ain't finna say. I said, nah, I ain't gonna lie. I would have responded like this. Who like, who? Who you finna embarrass? Screaming. So Porsha says she already knew that, but then you just say you didn't know that? So which one is it? Did you know it or did you not know that? You didn't know about what all they did. You don't care about what they did. I don't know about you sure? Which one is it? What's going on? I already knew that and I took it to my mom and she was flabbergasted. And you know why? Because your mom slept with your father's brother. Straight face. Straight face yet again. Shamea said, girl, stop. Stop. Here you go. Pulling shit out your ass like you've been doing this whole season. Stop. Which brother was it? And Phaedra saying, ooh, the name doesn't matter. What matters is that it's a lie. So the response should have been that it was a lie. No, bitch. No, hoe. It do matter. Because one thing about it, we gonna fact check over here, unlike you bitches like to do. Unlike you hoes like to sit up there and tell lies and spew shit. So guess what?
Name them.
Name them.
Well, what you did was ridiculous.
Name them.
Not having.
Name 'em.
So put a name to it because you walk around here like you are the receipt. And I'm sorry, you don't get to put my people in your bullshit and I have a piece of a receipt. So at least give me a name so we can fact check. Let's be sure. So Porsha tries to say when somebody has done the things that she's done, because I believe that Pinky was like, oh, well, what's the real reason y'all are not friends? And she says, when somebody has done the things that she's done, you make a decision for yourself. No, what are the things that she's done? What has she done? What has she done? I would love to know. And let's not use, oh, she brought up the situation with the mama and your mama trying to sleep with her daddy. Let's not, we need other past tense. What has she done? Because she's always shown up and been happy for you in your moment, Miss. I got sick. I can't fly to Africa. I can't be in your wedding. Whoop, doo, doo. I just want to know what she did. Okay. I will say when Shamea got up, she's snapping off on Porsha, whatever. They saying their words. She goes out. She puts her jacket on. Shamea's very hurt by this friendship breakup. I understand. People don't be understanding that friendship breakups can be just as hard as relationship breakups. Honestly, truly. And if you disagree, then I would think that you just haven't been in a friendship breakup. I mean, a friendship, in a long-term friendship with a person that you have looked at as a relative to you, is what I would think. And it takes time to process and go through. And then it's different for a lot of us, especially if we don't see that person every day. You're still going to go through your hurt and the breakdown of the friendship. When you have happy moments, you want to call that person, let them know, get them updates on this and that. And you can't do that no more because y'all don't talk to each other. It's hurtful. It's very, very hurtful. And it takes time to get over. The sad part for Shamea is that she has to see this person every day on a show. And with seeing her every day on the show, she gets to see her develop and maintain friendships with other people, but not with this person who knows some of her secrets, right? I thought we were closer than that. So I definitely understand, the hurt. I do wish Shamea would have scaled back and held more closer to the vest. Maybe reveal it at a later time or something. But also at the same time, I kinda don't. It's like, get that shit up off you. Let them know, bitch. Don't stop playing with me, ho. Cause you don't give a damn about my feelings. Well, let me stop sparing yours. How about that? So it sucks, but it is what it is, right? It sucks when you feel like you've spent a lot of time considering people and their feelings, right? And you suppress yours and you deal with whatever mistreatment and this and that, and they don't give a fuck about your feelings. High key. But either way, Porsha says Shamea tried to trigger her and thinks that she would try to poison her. And that because she feels like, girl, you'll try to poison me. I damn sure won't let my daughter go over to her house. You really think Shamea would try and poison you because she clocked your tea? You and your mama? Girl, fucking stop. Hard stop, please. But I also understand if you don't want your daughter to go over there. That doesn't have to be your reason. It doesn't have to be a extreme reason as to why you don't want your daughter to go over there to make yourself feel better. It could simply be, I'm not talking to her right now. And I need you to understand the seriousness of me not fucking with you no more. My child's not going over there. It does not have to be something so deep that, oh, she would try to poison me. Oh, she did something egregious to me. Oh, she did this and that. No, I'm just not fucking with you. We not talking right now. We not. I'm not even trying to come by there and see you. No, if I want to withhold my child, I really don't even owe you an explanation as to why I'm withholding my child. Just know my child not coming over there. And that applies for you and family. I don't care. Shamea says that Porsha needs to be liked by everybody because her home life is fucked up and her family is also fucked up. Girl, I don't know. That's crazy. I don't feel like a lie was completely told on that. But let's keep going. Porsha then equates Shamea's eyes to Simon's devilish eyes. It's comical. You need her to be a villain. You need her to be a devil. You need her to be a quote unquote monster, okay, Michelle? You need her to be these things to justify your actions. When really you have been the fucked up friend and your actions have been documented. Your actions throughout the years, people can run a fucking montage on, and I'm probably a 5-minute one, on how you have not shown up for Shamea. And you need to paint her as the villain is crazy to me. But I feel like it often happens like that though. That's how I feel, to me, in friendships. Somebody need to make you the damn villain. Cause they got their own fuck shit they got going on. Even when you've shown up for them, had they back, did this, did that, bent over backwards when you really shouldn't. That's a personal issue because you're probably a people pleaser. Doing too damn much for their ass and they won't really go that far for you. They'll do just enough, but they won't go too far. And then as soon as the friendship breakup happens, they got to paint you like you this terrible, you did this and that, you did it. Nah, you a fucked up ass person. And if you feel that way about me, that's how you feel. That was your experience. I don't feel that that's how I came off at all. But that was your experience. But don't ever sit up here and think that, bitch, you ain't a fucked up person too, because you is, ho. And the problem is, yours is documented. Feel how you're going to feel. What? I said, girl, you over here trying to really make this lady feel like she's the worst of the worst. Whole time, I feel like she about been protecting you more than you been protecting her. That's crazy. But yes, please go on and tell yourself whatever you need to tell yourself to make yourself feel better. Okay? I believe everything Shamea said about Porsha not wanting her on this show. I believe the situation about the mom and the dad. Okay? I don't give a fuck what Porsha said to Andy. Because this is how I feel about it. Didn't I tell you all the times I really did want her on this show? If you genuinely wanted Shamea on this show, you two would have worked on your friendship. You would have worked that little sit down conversation y'all had at the end of the season. That don't count. It was extremely dismissive. You would have worked on, y'all would have had more of a conversation throughout the season. Because when the season was airing, it seemed like Porsha and Shamea weren't in communication for real, it seemed. And then y'all had whatever at the reunion, and then y'all got to cussing each other out after the reunion when y'all should have been discussing shit throughout the show. And if there's anything that you felt she did wrong, if there's anything she felt you did wrong, y'all should have held yourselves accountable for whatever fuck shit if y'all wanted this to work and move forward. And it always seemed like Shamea was always open to do that. That's crazy. That's crazy. You over here acting like Shamea did something so egregious to you, just like you sat up here and tried to act like her mom did something egregious to your mom. Whole time her mama was responding to your mama's fuck shit. That's crazy. So okay, Michelle, tell them, listen, even if she feels, even if she should be held accountable for something, she still doesn't think they should feel like everybody is on them. She still shouldn't be attacked in so many words. Everybody still shouldn't be coming on her head top. Even if y'all feel like she should be held accountable for something, like y'all approach to the situation ain't cool. So Cynthia brings up the situation of, well, do you feel like Shamea brought some of this stuff on her own, or is everybody just picking with Shamea? It's giving everybody picking with Shamea. I do feel like the only person I would give credit to going after Shamea would be Drew. That's the only person I would say should have been on her head top swinging. Angela doing too much, can't even find a real reason to justify her situation of going after Shamea for real. Whack, cut it out. Phaedra gonna blow up Portia's ass every which way and then shade the fuck out of her in the confessionals. It's crazy. You know, but do what y'all gonna do. K Michelle says that Shamea has been holding everything in, and she feels like it may have been a relief for her to get all this stuff off her chest. She just don't think that was the right time or moment. And I do agree with that. I'm like, damn, I wish I would have had this conversation separately. And the fact that they went majority of this whole season and they didn't even have a one-on-one conversation leaves me to believe that somebody told production, I'm not doing that, period. I'm not having no sit downs. I'm not talking. Don't ask me none of that. But we'll have multiple sit downs with Kelly and shit. It's crazy. So I think that's why Shamea blew up. I do feel like Shamea blew up because part of Kelly and Porsha supposedly being on a better page bothered her, not because they were becoming close, but it was because I'm sitting here as your longest standing friend here, and you're giving everybody grace. You and Cynthia even got in a physical fight, and y'all are close today. Phaedra involved you in a fucking lie that could have really affected your career. All I did was tell people that I'm not happy with the friendship and we got to work on this and that. You watch the show, watch them twist my damn words, and then turn around and I'm the most terrible person ever. On top of the fact that you feel a way that I joined your show. So me joining your show is enough for you to treat me the way that you treat, like dismissing me, but you can forgive and give grace to everybody else. You see Angela on her fuck shit. You let this lady lie on me and you didn't even speak up and even try to have my back on some, just not even on no friendship, but just on some honest type, like, hey, you wrong for that type thing. So yeah, you motherfucking right. I'll be mad as hell. I would. Because the punishment or whatever it is you're giving, it's not really fitting the crime for me. You know? Shamea in the car, she talking to Kelly. She's emotional. She's crying. All of that. The show gets ready to come to a close. Because she's hurting over this friendship. And I think that them not even sitting down to have a conversation about things earlier or throughout the season at all is also frustrating. And then having all of these people come at her. And this ain't the first time Porsha has allowed some fuck shit to be said about Shamea on this very platform that you say is yours. So as much as you be like, this is mine, this is my show, this and that, and then y'all fans get upset when we say, oh, these people working and doing Porsha's work, dirty work, or whatever the case is, because yeah, she keeps saying it's her show. So obviously if she step in and say, hey, y'all need to chill the fuck out, they gonna chill out. Because just like y'all and the cast want to believe Shamea got minions, Porsha clearly has minions too. So yeah, I would be hurt. And I won't even hide my feelings for you fuck niggas. Like, is you crazy? Like, yeah, I am hurt. I am disappointed. I cared about you like a sister. I never thought we would get to this place. I thought we could like talk it out. And it's okay if we mad, whatever, we ain't gonna talk. But then for you to try and paint me like I'm a fucking monster, you need me to be this type of villain so bad. So bad? Really? I'll try and poison you. You want, and it's real interesting. I have to go back to the daughter not coming over. I think Porsha may have felt a way about not being invited to that damn party. Because how is it everything was all good? And keep in mind, it's a month and a half. How is it that everything is all good? Your daughter gets to come over and hang out with Gerald, with her dad and Gerald's daughter, and then you turn around and say that you don't feel comfortable with her going over there. That's mind manipulation type shit. And you made sure to do it during the time frame that y'all were filming this show. Something is off about that, and I'm so okay if y'all don't want to see it, because a lot of times we be ahead on this shit, and then later on, it may take a season or two, then y'all finally see what the people are saying. But I'm so glad that it didn't take a whole season for y'all to see what the fuck I said about Angela. Okay? Love you, Ange. Love you, girl. But we have to call you out at times, all right? The previews for the next episode, we see Porsha talking to her sister, talking about destiny swapping. And I don't know what it's going to be pertaining to. But when it comes to destiny swapping, if it is pertaining to Shamea joining this show, I find that interesting. Because for me, it's destiny swapping when she wants to join the show, but it's not destiny swapping when you go and find you a rich African and marry him just like Shamea did. Okay.